Hi, I'm Rich Lyons.
And I'm Deanna Joy Lyons.
Thank you for joining us on Living After Faith.
Come laugh with us.
This is Thanksgiving. Now, we don't know when you're going to listen to this, but it's Thanksgiving Day, and we want to be thankful, which is something you may not think atheists can do.
That's true. It's who can you thank besides God?
Well, we can thank a lot of people besides God. I like the way Daniel Dennett said it best. He says, thank goodness. And this came right after he had an event with his heart, and surgeons jumped right on the scene and were able to take care of it and rescued him, literally. I mean, he was dying, and they rescued him. And he said, thank goodness. And people said, isn't that kind of a cop-out, kind of close to thank God? Because Daniel Dennett, big-time, atheist author. And he said, no, I thank the goodness of people who cared enough to study for hours and years and become expert surgeons so that they could do this. I thank the goodness in people themselves. And that's what I want to do. I want to thank goodness, the goodness of people, the goodness of where I live, the goodness of life and altogether. What are you thankful for?
Well, I am thankful for, first and foremost, you. My most favorite husband ever.
Yes.
I know. It's a very prestigious award.
Yes, it is. I'm her only husband ever, but yeah, go ahead, go ahead. As long as you're talking about me, go ahead.
Okay. I am thankful for the love we have, the life we lead, the things that we do that are so little but mean so much. I'm thankful for, I've got my family. My father recently had a stroke, and I'm very thankful that he is still with us and he's recovering, and he is going to join the rest of my family for Thanksgiving this year, so that could be quite fun. I have so much going on, so much to be thankful for. I have good friends. I've got really great food in my life right now. I guess this is a day all about food.
Food.
Yeah. Tex-Mex soup this morning.
That was good.
That was really great and totally off the cuff.
Yes.
Thankful for having a job that I not only like, but that I feel like I'm good at. I've had a lot of jobs in my life where either I hated them and I was good at them, or I was crappy at them but I liked them. I feel like I'm in a place there that it is very good.
You sound pretty thankful to me.
I am very thankful.
I'm thankful too. I'm thankful for my awesome wife. I'm not just thankful that you're my wife, but I'm thankful that you are my best friend. What people don't realize, I got to marry my best friend. We met in an unusual way. Can we tell that?
Yeah,
All right.
We can do that.
Here's what the way we met, through work, kind of ish. We talked on the phone several times because she's a traffic reporter at the radio station I work for. As I was getting into Facebook, I friended a lot of people that I didn't really know but kind of knew. Deanna was one of those. I talked to her on the phone several times, and I friended her on Facebook. And then we had this big power outage at the radio station, and you had to come into the studio and work. You don't remember that part.
I don't remember meeting you specifically, but
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have that effect on women. But she was there in the studio, and I remember meeting her. I could tell you what she wore. It's that same sweater that's right over there right now. I remember that sweater, and she was wearing that. And she walked out of the control room into the power pod, we call it, and introduced herself. And I thought, wow, cool. That's Deanna Joy. She's my friend. I thought, she's kind of cute. So I kind of filed that back. And when I had time later, I checked out her Facebook page and saw she's an atheist, a free thinker. She's this awesome skeptic chick. And I was just, wow, blown away. So I sent her a Facebook message.
Oh, and that message, the first lie you ever told me. It said, I know we've been friends on Facebook for a while, and I just now looked at your profile and saw that you were an atheist and a skeptic and a free thinker. We should really get together and talk sometime. I swear I'm not hitting on you. I'm old enough to be your grandfather. I guess the first two lies you ever told me.
I was totally hitting on her, and not quite old enough to be your grandfather.
Not quite.
Close.
Yeah.
So we had a hard time finding a time that we could meet, because I was working a weird twist of shifts. And
you had two different schedules you had to follow over a period of 4 days and 5 shifts and weirdness. And I was working graveyards, and I always got off at the same time every morning, about 5:30 a.m. And so when you told me which days you had off, I suggested, thinking that you wouldn't do it, but I was like, I like to go have a beer after work sometimes, and you want to meet up and have some breakfast. And so we did. I think it was like a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, like at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
We met at the 5 Point and ordered breakfast, and you ordered a beer, and I jumped right in.
I was impressed. I said, that guy's ordering a beer right with me, even though it's 6 a.m.
That was a first for me, but we've had many 6 a.m. beers since then.
Yeah. It's like our 6 p.m. Just
It
try
is.
not to think of us as rampaging alcoholics. Try to think of us as people with a different schedule.
Yeah, we worked the other 9 to 5.
That's
But anyway,
it.
at that time, our schedules were kind of wonky and opposite. So what we did is we got together at the 5 Point. We had ourselves beer and breakfast, began just wonderful conversation.
Just blabbed our heads off.
Talking about all kinds of stuff, skeptical stuff, not skeptical stuff. But in the course of the conversation, the shirt I was wearing came up.
I think it was because I thought of it in contrast to my shirt, which was Hank Williams III, who, if you don't know who he is, look him up. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wild, crazy, psychobilly, drugs and women and craziness.
And anti-God.
Yeah.
And then there was my shirt, which was...
I told you it made you look like Jesus.
And I said, oh... Here I am meeting a skeptical girl, and I'm wearing a Jesus shirt. So she offered to swap
I took my T-shirt off and handed it to him.
in the middle of a bar, and I totally go... It was mind-blowing. If you know what booby lockdown is, that's where I was. I was totally lost in the moment. Took my shirt off as slowly as I could to give it to her. And, of course, the bartender's there freaking out, and it just kind of established the openness and the freedom that our no pretense at all.
We weren't looking for relationships, neither one of us.
Exactly.
And so we've kind of just been our own goofy, weird selves the entire time we've known each other.
Never putting on airs. We didn't have to prove anything to each other. We just were friends. And because of that, the person I fell in love with the real person, not who she projected herself to be.
And not me either. I knew that you were who you were at all times. You weren't trying to impress me with anything.
And the wonderful thing about that is when you marry that person, when you're in love with that person, it's so beautiful because you're in love with who they genuinely are. And I can't describe it. I am thankful to be in love with Deanna Joy Lyons. Thankful that you're my wife.
I'm thankful that you're my husband.
I'm thankful for my mom. I have a great mom. She doesn't believe like I do. She is a Christian. I don't hold that against her at all. I love my mom. She has stood by me. She has seen me go through hell. She has seen me melt down in a puddle of nothing. She stood by me. She made a way for me. When I first left the faith, I was welcome in her home. I lived in her home. I was in a place emotionally and mentally I couldn't even hold down. I could not even work. I mean, I was just beleaguered. And Mom stood by me, didn't pressure me. She was there for me. I'm thankful for that kind of mom. I know a lot of people coming out of faith, their family is the number one that attacks them. And I had that on the other side of the family. But my mom was a rock. I am thankful for a wonderful life that we have. We don't have a lot. We're looking at maybe moving to a little bit larger apartment because
Sound issues.
yeah. Because
right now,
the people that live above us are amateur bowling ball jugglers. That's pretty tough when you work nights and you're asleep while they're practicing. Yeah. So we're looking at moving to a little bit larger apartment and trying to juggle our finances for that. And can we really do it? Do we want to take that step?
But if it weren't for that, we have been perfectly happy in 502 square feet. You know, you heard that right. 502 square feet.
It's a tiny place. 2 people live in a studio. But what makes us happy isn't stuff, because we don't have that.
Yeah.
What makes us happy is that we live each moment. We live each day. And I'm thankful for the little moments. Walking home, taking pictures in the snow, taking pictures of fall foliage. It's just a life that's different. And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, we don't have to spend a lot of time here to be happy here.
Exactly.
I'm thankful for the adventures that we end up having. We'll leave the house on like a weekend morning and go, okay, we're going to go ride a ferry and do this and maybe drop by this store and pick up something. And we'll end up not doing what we said at all, but having the most fun. And the unexpected things. I've had people in my life that you couldn't just run into something and go, hey, there's something interesting. Let's go check it out. It was uncomfortable for them to be so freeform. But you and I were walking towards like a bus, and we go through Seattle Center, and there happens to be like a Slovakian festival going on with dancing and food and T-shirts, and we'll go in and check things out and eat and watch the dancers or the robot competition.
That was awesome.
That was great. Completely off the cuff.
Absolutely.
I'm thankful for spontaneity.
Absolutely. I'm thankful for the Rat City Roller Girls match that we never saw.
That we planned on seeing.
We totally were going to do this. Totally going to go see the Rat City Roller Girls. They are the intergalactic champions of roller girlism. And won the championship this year. We were going to go see a match and didn't get to do it. And I texted Deanna and said, doesn't look like we're going to get to see that match. And I said, maybe next time. And she says, by the next one, we'll be hitched. And I said,
really?
And she said, yep. And I said,
yay, 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 yay.
That's exactly what I said. Point. And we absolutely were hitched by the next time.
And we still haven't gone to see a match.
No, but we did go to, what do they call it, the flash mob.
We did go to the Rat City Roller Girls flash mob.
There was a flash mob that they had at Seattle Center. We found out about it, showed up and met some of the Rat City Roller Girls and watched them do their flash mob thing and watched all the people at Seattle Center stand around like, what? It was awesome.
That was fun.
I'm thankful to be an atheist.
Me too.
You see, when I was a Christian, a lot of times something bad would happen. And my response would be to turn to God.
You were having too much fun in life at some point. And
so now you have to be punished. So it was my job not to fix the problem. It was my job to figure out what I did wrong to have this problem heaped down upon me. That's not a viable method of solving problems.
No.
And the more things would happen, the more I would seek God and try to find what was wrong with my life and change my life in ways that would turn this anger of God away from me. What happens now when a problem comes up? I fix it. This is the second time today we've recorded this podcast.
Yep.
And when the first file, I still to this moment don't know what happened to that file. It went away. It is in the great cosmos somewhere, entertaining Martians or something. I don't know where it is by now, but it's gone. And I didn't sit here and think, God, what did I do that caused... I said, you want to do it again? And you said...
Well, there was a little more swearing than that, but I said, yes.
I used God's middle name. And his last name.
Yep.
But, being an atheist doesn't mean I don't get angry over something, but the right way to fix the problem is not try to figure out how you offended God, but sit down and re-record it.
Especially when it comes to something completely unrelated, like, oh, maybe you have a car wreck because you were thinking impure thoughts at another time. What? How are those connected?
Exactly.
It seems to me to be a pretty emotionally damaging way to live your life, because no matter what goes on, there's no, oops, random stuff happens. It's always your fault, your fault, your fault.
Right. And the reality is random stuff does happen.
Absolutely.
Bad things happen that don't necessarily mean I did something bad, or bad things happen because I did something wrong. I saved the file wrong. I guess that's what happened. I will definitely be more careful the next time. That's how you fix a problem. Then you move on and you don't have a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that I understand life from a different perspective, that I understand my actions only affect what they affect.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really sound right. But what I mean by that is, if I turn on the light switch and the light doesn't come on, it's either because I didn't pay the bill, because the bulb is out, because something's broken. There's a cause and effect thing. It doesn't go into some big hierarchical God caused something to happen because of something I did.
I was just reminded of when we were speaking with some people back home in Texas.
Oh, boy.
Back in your home. And we were talking about where the universe came from.
Right.
And the fear in the
remember
Christian's
this moment.
eyes when she said, I can't imagine a universe without God in it. And throughout that conversation, it was, well, life didn't just happen. Random things can't create us. Like, to get us, it would have to be a creator. And random things happening is kind of how the universe came together and how everything came together. And the fear, though, was very real. This poor woman looked like a deer in the headlights. Like, the fact that everything wasn't planned out was very, very scary. And I can understand how that might be. That things are random, though, is a more beautiful and more meaningful thing than everything being planned out. Because you really are in charge of this life. And what happens, you do what you can to make things happen that you want or to fix bad things that happened. It's beautiful. It really is.
It's reality-based. Mm-hmm. And I know exactly, I can understand the desire, the wanting to have that comfort. I mean, I remember for a brief time when I finally admitted there could be no God, I felt alone. But then I realized I was always alone. That comfort that I thought was there never really was a comfort at all anyway. Yeah. That peace that I thought was there was never really there anyway. It was just a perception. God didn't have my back. He wasn't there. There was no God. Behind me was nothing.
When you thank God for giving you the strength to get through something, that was you with the strength to get through something. And I think it's very belittling to people that they are nothing without God. You hear that all the time.
To be an atheist.
Me too.
Thanksgiving is not a Christian holiday. Thanksgiving is simply a time to give thanks. And in all honesty, we don't even need a day to give thanks.
Because we're thankful every day.
We are living after faith.
We're thankful for 6 a.m. beers. Come laugh with us.